Welcome back, Crusader Nation, to an alumni interview presented by the Crusader Football Alumni Association. Proud sponsors of To The Cru. We're grateful for their support. And I'm Ron Zayas, managing editor of To The Cru. Pleased to be joined today by UMHB football alum Jeff Shinn. Super glad to have Jeff on. I think you're really going to enjoy hearing what he has to say. So without further ado, let's get right to the conversation in today's alumni interview presented by the Cru FAA. Yeah, so just to kind of start off, you and I have met at several games over the years. You've been in attendance at quite a few of them, and always made the trip down to Belton. Just what are kind of your thoughts on the program right now and the success that UMHB has had on the football field over the last, I don't even know how many years, because it's been such a long-standing tradition in Belton with the success of the program.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt. There's a great sense of pride to be a Crusader. And every time I get to go to one of those games, it's always great to see alumni, old teammates, old guys that I coached, and it's just awesome to be there. And it's amazing how you don't see or talk to these guys, for 6 months, a year at a time. But when you see each other, you just pick up right where you left off. So that's great. I know we didn't win the national championship this year, but I know that the program's in great hands with Coach Harmon, and then we got some alumni in there with Coach Johnson, Coach Carey, Coach Padron. So I think it's in great hands, and we're just excited to watch every chance we get.
Absolutely, no doubt. And one of the reasons why I've been so excited to have you on is because you were part of that inaugural team, right? And you actually hold a pretty cool distinction. Answer to a trivia question here, because you are the first guy to have ever scored a touchdown in the purple and gold.
Oh
yeah! In that game against Trinity, first game in program history. When you kind of think back to that game and just really that season as a whole, what kind of comes to mind? Because there was a lot that happened that year that really laid the foundation to what we are seeing now and the success of the program.
No, there's no question. It was kind of crazy. I think we got into Belton. We got into Belton that year. I'll never forget, as a freshman, and there was about 217 of us that reported that year, and I think 200 plus of us were all freshmen, 18-year-old freshmen. So Coach Pete had his work cut out for us. And we practiced 2 weeks. That was back when you did 3 days, sun up to sundown, always doing something. And I remember getting in that huddle in that first game. It was a great environment. They were the number 4 team in the country. And we really, like I said, we were freshmen. We didn't really know what we were doing, but I didn't know everybody's name in the huddle. I knew some guys, but we were so green and just getting started and finding our way. And but I still have great memories playing a great opponent like Trinity. Like I said, they were number 4 in the nation, and so we quickly we got to do and. Kind of went from there. It was a core group. I think one of the things I think of, and I might be answering other questions, but from that group, those 217 that I was talking about, there was a core group of us that stuck together and ended up being, we call each other the originals, I guess, but there's 9 of us that made it through the 4 years that all played in that game. And so the relationships we grew and built over the time, and to think back to that, that first game and where we were to what it is now is crazy, really. Is really the only way I can explain it.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because it's one of those things where now you go to games like Crusader Stadium, and when you guys were playing, as a lot of people know, you guys were playing at Tiger Stadium over at Belton High School, and there's just so many things that have changed, right, in the 25 years that the program has been in existence. And so I guess, it's really cool to look back and talk to alums who have, kind of played a role in the building of that. When you were going through, you talked about getting to Belton, but even before that, the recruitment process to UMHB, Coach Fredenberg was recruiting you to a first year program, a program that wasn't necessarily going to be successful right off the bat. Right. For you coming out of high school, what drew you to UMHB and into the program when you first kind of got the opportunity?
Yeah, well, and also, it was an all-girls school for, a few years before then, so, Pete Fredenberg showed up at Smithson Valley High School, and he came out, he introduced himself, he came over to my house and sat with me and my mom, and I never met him, but I fell in love with him quickly, and I just got a sense that I could trust him. And he told me, he said, I'll never forget it, 1998, I guess. And he said, Jeff, we're starting this program from scratch. We're going to build it with, great high school talent. And by the time you're a senior, we're going to play in the national playoffs. And he also knew that I wanted to be a coach. And he said, and then as soon as you're done playing, I'm going to hire you. And, fast forward to 4 years after my senior year, we played in the playoffs my senior year. We got beat by Trinity, which was ironic. But he put me to work to that we finished our season, I guess, in late November, early December. And I was coaching running backs in January. Had no idea what I was doing, but Pete kept his word and taught me. And so it's to answer your question, Pete's vision, and I felt like I could trust Pete, and he just had the ability to make you feel like you could run through a wall.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it, and then I went and visited the university. And I actually stayed with Jared Johnson, which was already in school there, and was planning on playing. And he's still a big part of the nation, and became good friends on that visit. And then I committed, and boom, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is awesome. And I think one of the things that Coach Fredenberg did so well was he was able to really get people to buy into the program no matter what role they were playing. And you see that even till now, he just got guys to believe in not only themselves, but also in the team and in the vision that he had for the program.
Yeah, that's right. And I think one other thing too that I always take, I think back from my times, not just playing, but also coaching with Pete, is, the accountability part of it. He was always so good at, taking blame, but when things didn't go right, he pointed the finger always at himself first, and then he also taught us that, you got to be accountable. And so when things didn't go your way or go our way, it's natural tendency for everybody to start pointing fingers. And we always try. I mean, I thought Pete did a great job of, you point your finger at yourself first and make sure you're doing right, and you get a core group of guys that start to do that. And I think that's what happened. And then next thing you know, the program kind of takes off.
Yeah, exactly. Because you guys obviously like you said. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I got you. I lost you for a second.
Yeah, so like you said, I mean, the program went from a point where you guys obviously made the playoffs your senior year and kind of started that, and then from that point on, it's been almost a constant, year in year out thing where UMHB is not only reaching the playoffs, they're winning in the playoffs and winning multiple games. As you kind of look back on I mean, and to have laid that foundation, you talked about that original group that started in the inaugural season in 1998, went 4 years all the way through. For you guys, how much pride do you have in now looking at the program out in the field in 2022, 2023, and knowing you played a role, even though you didn't necessarily have the same amount of postseason success, you set them up for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, that there's no question. There's a great amount of pride, and I think the relationship part of it too, Riley, is real important. You know, a lot of those guys that I played with, I'm still in regular contact, and we just have a bond that is special because we went through those trials, and we were 3-7 my freshman year, the first year, and then we went 4-6, and could have easily been 6-4 or 7-3, but not everybody was bought in. And then my junior year, we won 9 games and didn't make the playoffs. Next year, we won 8 games because that was 2001. We missed a game due to the 9/11, but we got into the playoffs, and it was just to see the improvement, even though it's minor improvement from year 1 to year 2, but we knew we had something special. And then to win 9 games as our third year as a program was special. And then to see where they've taken it now is I mean, how can you not have pride in it?
Yeah.
And I kind of remember probably around year 2. It was in the off season after our 4-6 season. We had some guys that we were counting on that were part of our team and good players, but they weren't totally bought in. And so after we lost a game to Texas Lutheran, that last game of the season in '99, and the next day we had quite a few guys come in and quit and just left, for one reason or another. It wasn't for them. It wasn't working out. They weren't getting the plan. I don't know. But they left. But I think that really drew us tighter together as a coaching staff and as a team. And that off season, we took about 3 to 4 weeks. I don't remember exactly how long, but we put together as a team and as a coaching staff, and Coach Fredenberg led it, but we made the decisions to our To The Cru,
Yep.
And I think that was a turning point for us going in to go win those 9 games that third year. And then obviously those weren't just words that we came up with. We met about them. We talked about them. What do we want to be known for? And what is UMHB football? And we came up with those, physical, unselfish, relentless, passionate, all, the 5 of them. And I think that was the turning point, man. And it drew us together, and it was really cool to be a part of.
Well, and that is awesome. I was actually just about to ask you about that, because when I talked with Coach Harmon for the first time in an interview type setting, that was something he brought up, was the establishment of the To The Cru and how important that was in the foundation of the program.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool that you brought that up. And I was just about to ask you about that, because it did play a big role. And it's one of those things that now, is obviously something that the guys who come in, it's one of the first things I think they hear about is kind of what this program's about, and even through the recruitment process, right?
Yeah, that's it. And it's a cornerstone, and it's something that you have a lot of pride in. And, if you're going to say you're unselfish, well, you got to live those words, are relentless and passionate and prepared. And I mean, those were things that we took a lot of pride in, and we narrowed it down, and we weren't going to be phonies. This is what we said we wanted to be, and that's what we did. And if people weren't holding up their end of the deal, whether it was coaches or players, we all held each other accountable. And I really think that. And your original question was talking about when you go back and you watch the Cru now. I think that's really cool. It's 20 years later, but but these guys have the same values and that we started 20 years ago, and I can't help but think that that's a big reason for the program's success.
Well, and that's so well said, because one of the things that you and I were kind of talking about is the changes, right, in the program from your first year playing in those 4 years that you played till now. Obviously different stadium, more national prominence. Got more eyes on you. Obviously the school's a little bit bigger too, from what I understand, than the enrollment size.
Yeah.
So, there's been a lot of changes, but there's also been a lot of similarities. And I think you find that in a lot of successful programs, for as much as everything around them changes, the internal kind of values and foundation really stays the same.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So, and I think that there's no question that part stayed the same. And I think if you start drifting away from those things, you're not going to have the success that we've been fortunate to have. But when I got recruited to Mary Hardin Baylor and I committed, I remember telling people, "Yeah, I committed to Mary Hardin Baylor," and they would say, "Oh, Baylor!" Like nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew Mary Hardin Baylor, and now you say Mary Hardin Baylor, and everybody knows. So to see that part change has been pretty cool.
I'd imagine so.
And now I know that the other big change that I notice is the guys are a lot bigger, faster, and stronger than we were.
Yeah.
Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So definitely recruiting a better caliber athlete.
Yeah. That'll come with the success, right? But I mean,
yeah, that's
you
right.
as you kind of look back on your time, it's a hard question, but I always kind of like to ask it. Is there a memory that sticks out to you, or is it more just the bonds that were formed and kind of those things that were formed, I guess, more in the off the field stuff, right? That you take away most and remember, I guess.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. The things that come to my mind is exactly what you're saying. The relationships, the time off the field, the time in the locker rooms, the time at your buddy's house, the time in study hall with your buddies, your teammates. After games, winning. I have memories of big devastating losses that you would say are just awful, but those were times that drew us closer together, and we learned from, and I guess you have to go through things like that to get to where you want to go. But all of those things are good memories, and I'll hold them cherished or close to my heart forever.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, because you got to be a part of something really special, and you guys were doing something that no one else had done before, right? Because Mary Hardin Baylor had never had a football program, so you were trailblazers in a way. And I guess
I guess you could say that.
You talk about kind of the bonds and the relationships, and the Crusader Football Alumni Association really does a good job kind of connecting you guys as alumni.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you, obviously, the Cru FAA has been huge supporters of our coverage at To The Cru, obviously great supporters of the program for many years. How cool is it to be a part of that kind of brotherhood and the fact that you guys do a lot of cool things, support the current team in a lot of really cool ways, and you guys tailgate out a lot of the games. There's just a lot of cool elements to being a part of that, right?
Yeah, no, there's no question. And we started that. We started the Alumni Association very similar to how we started the program. Small as a core group of guys, and our goal was we want to give back to the program that gave us so much. And so you have a bunch of guys involved in the association, and that's what we try to do. Whether it's raising some funds to just do something special with the team, or for the team, or the coaches, or just being available as a resource for players. And when you get a network like that, it's pretty cool. And I've had a couple opportunities to talk with some of the younger guys, and I don't know any of them. But you still have that bond and that relationship of crew football, and we all came up the same way, so you automatically you have immediate respect for that individual because you know what he's been through, the boot camps, the hard works, the discipline that it takes to be a part of the program. It's not just every Saturday you run out there and it's all fun and games. I mean, those guys work their butts off, to have the success that they've had. So the mutual respect of generations, I guess, if you will, that it's a pretty neat bond.
No doubt, no doubt. Very, very cool element to the program. Jeff, I appreciate you taking the time. It means a lot, and enjoyed hearing all that you had to say and all the memories from the early days of crew football.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I appreciate you giving us such great coverage, and I hope it's was worth your time.
Absolutely, no, man. I enjoyed it, and appreciate you taking time out of your day, and have a rest of your evening.
All right, buddy. You do the same. All right. Riley.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye.
Later.
All right, Crew Nation, that was our alumni interview with Jeff Shinn, former UMHB running back, a great ambassador for the program, great supporter of Crew football. This video presented by the Crew FAA, the Crew Football Alumni Association. They do great work connecting the tradition of UMHB football between the alums of the program, past and present. Follow them on Twitter at Crew FAA. And also for True to the Cru, be sure to keep following us on TrueToTheCru.com. You can also search TrueToTheCru.com on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or LinkedIn. We're on all 4 platforms there, keeping you informed and up to date with the latest on UMHB athletics. I'm Riley Zayas, managing editor of True to the Cru, and until next time, have a great day.